Look.
Listen.
Welcome everyone to episode 62 of Look, Listen, Cast with Geese Guyera and Taylor.
Hello.
Today, we're going to discuss Pokemon and...
Oh, my favorite part. It's coming up.
Other geese.
Stuff?
Other things, that's
Wow.
correct.
Yeah.
Every Friday we show up and do that. Clambos, before we even start, let me let you know, this episode was fun. There's some laughs. There's some tears. Is it last week's episode? No. And I made that clear to you last week. You're not going to get another absolute masterpiece, triple S rank. It's going to maybe enjoy yourself, perhaps. Geese, what do you have to say? The floor's Geese's.
Yes. Yes, Geese.
I thought it was fluff.
Literally.
I thought it was entertaining fluff. Yes, literally. But I thought the Mitchell guy was going to be like a gym leader or something. But obviously I was wrong.
Okay.
Clambos,
welcome in. Welcome all. All right, Clambos, it's finally over. Jury duty has concluded. I can finally discuss my case. And boy, was it a long 6 days. Not 6 full days of deliberations. But it was pretty funny that on Friday we had 2 people. We convinced everybody for a guilty verdict, but then there were still 2 holdouts. And so they said, no, we need an entire replay. We need to pull out all the testimony and we need to listen back. And then over the course of the weekend, I just thought more about the case and I was so much more confident in the guilty verdict. So I gave an impassioned speech Monday morning and they immediately just switched their votes to guilty. Before we didn't even have to listen back to the thing.
What were some of the sick points of your speech?
Just the amount... I feel so bad for the defense because the lawyers come out and talk to you after the thing, and I felt bad talking to the lawyer or talking to the defense and his colleagues because the other girl with me, she was real nervous to talk to him too because they're like, "Oh no, are we in trouble because we went with the prosecution?" But he goofed himself because it was his evidence in the end that led us to vote guilty. Just everything he kept saying. Because he said, I know this is what the prosecution's going to say. And we went, oh, that's a lot of good points you're making.
Oh, no.
God.
He did the whole case. Prosecution has the hands behind the head and the feet kicked up on the desk.
It was just, there were 2 things he said. He said you needed abiding conviction, which is you need to feel good about this decision for years to come. And just over the weekend, I just felt more and more strongly. And he said... a lot about reasonable. What is a reasonable doubt? And I just kept saying to the people, it is so unreasonable to just think that this police officer is just making everything up for the fun of it. And it's so unreasonable that this Fast and Furious man with his vehicle that's as powerful as a Ferrari and as powerful as a Lamborghini with the red key that unlocks all the things that he just comes from a street takeover event where they're running, spinning around and doing donuts and launching and you follow him. He sees the smoke. As soon as he's pulled over, he's not like, well, what are you talking about? He's like, nope, I'm not broke. I have a lawyer. You'll be talking to my lawyer. It was just, there's way too many. And we had all these officers come up from like years ago, pointing him out, saying, yeah, that's the guy that, here's the video of him at the drag race. And it was just too much for the poor boy.
Did you
Vin
watch?
Diesel testify?
No, but
he does a lot of voice work.
It was only a misdemeanor, so he'll be fine. I'm sure he'll be fine.
Did you watch My Cousin Vinny or The Fast and the Furious to prepare for the case?
Actually, not allowed to do that. They make it very clear that during the case, you're not allowed to watch any Fast and Furious movies. It's funny because they even say you can't even look at a dictionary until the case is over, which is silly and frustrating because one person was a holdout because when you're in jury duty, you get to ask little secret questions to the judge and you write little questions.
Like on a little note?
Yeah, like on a little note.
Oh, that's so sick.
So I sent a few questions to the judge, one of which was a very important I asked because it changed one of the jurors' minds because we were trying to figure out, are we trying to say that this guy committed exhibition of speed at any point during the night or only during this one point that the police officer is talking about.
Double jeopardy, Your Honor.
And then the other thing, the other question was...
Exhibition of Speed is a very good movie title, by the way.
Yeah, it's good. Another question we all asked was, is Exhibition of Speed only when you're driving super fast, or is it also when you're just making your tires move incredibly fast? And she had to... we learned later from the lawyers and the judge that they have to give a terrible answer to that. It just said, just look at the law. So you're just making these jurors decide what the law is. But we all came to the conclusion, no, a tire spinning incredibly fast is an exhibition of speed, which now that the case is over, I can look it up. And yes, that is exhibition of speed. But
100%.
Silly, they can't just answer the question. Very silly.
Well, you have to, knowledge is 9/10 of the law, and you can't give anybody the law.
Oh, God, the defense attorney. He kept making these analogies, but he forgot halfway through what his analogy was, and it was goofing him. And I don't even think the defense thought his client was innocent. His whole case was just, let's make you emotional, dislike this police officer, and try and find some loopholes. And it was something.
So what did they say as far as you aren't allowed to watch this? Like, did they go...
No, they say you can't, during this trial, you're not allowed to look up anything about the case. You're not allowed to go over here and do any investigating. You can't look up any terms in the case. You can't look up anything. It's very important because they don't want you to be influenced by outside things. You need to just focus on what is presented in the courtroom.
Because I was just thinking of you before your impassioned speech, playing a bunch of ace attorney.
Yeah.
And just getting so ready to act as the prosecution.
And then I beat the Pokemon Scarlet Violet DLC, Part 1, the Teal Mask. That was kind of fun.
That was also part of the trial?
Yeah,
yes.
I showed him.
But only because it didn't have exhibition of speed in it.
My little this guy did go off in the courtroom once. Hopefully nobody heard it, other than maybe Juror.
Oh, you caught a Pokemon in the courtroom?
Well, no, it was Pokemon Sleep. Sleepy Pikachu started singing a lullaby, and I had to tell him to be quiet. Because my phone
He's a detective. He had probably something more to say.
My phone was turned off, but the problem with if you put enough pressure on that little Pokemon go plus Pikachu will start to sleep. So it's funny, that day it says I took an hour-long nap in the courtroom, so I got extra sleep that day. Very funny. I just caught breaking news, just minutes before this recording started, I caught Monkey Dory, the Pokemon from the DLC.
That's a very good name.
In a Premier Ball, which was tough. Took a lot of Premier Balls. Had him down to 1 HP, paralyzed. Had a Tinkaton out there. I sand attacked him 5 times so he couldn't hit me. And he was paralyzed, so he got paralyzed half the time. And Tinkaton dodged his attacks half the time. And Tinkaton's immune to half his attacks. So it was just sitting there throwing the Premier Ball. It was pretty sick. Pretty sick. Oh, my God. Yes, Geese.
Yes, Geese.
Oh, I was just going to say that I caught a gold duck in Pokemon Sleep.
Nice.
You can't catch Pokemon in Pokemon Sleep.
Well, you befriend them, and they go in little Pokeballs, so that's catching, huh?
Oh.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then for my eating this week, Clambos, God, since I was so close to Little Tokyo, every day, going to jury duty, going to the trial, listening to all the speeches.
Getting intimidated by the defense?
I was never intimidated by the defense.
Poor defense.
Poor defense is right, because I was probably on that jury because of the defense. Because when they do the jury selection trial, they have so many potential jurors. It's like 60 people in there, and they narrow it down to 12. And so when he gets to the section where he just starts, both of them start asking.
Both of them start asking
questions. So he asked me, because there's a few things in a trial they need to make very clear to the jurors. One of which is you completely have a right to not testify on your own behalf. And if you make the decision not to testify, that 100% cannot be held against you. And that makes a lot of sense. But both the attorneys were saying, you guys understand that, right? I know a lot of people out there are thinking, and they said things like, raise your hand if you think if you were innocent of a crime, you would have to get on that stand and let everybody know you were innocent. And he said, juror number 30, because back then I was number 31, but I got bumped up to juror number 2. So he said, how about you, jury 31? what do you think about that? And I said, oh, God, if I was innocent of crime, I would never want to be on the stand. And he said, oh, really? You're the opposite. And I said, yeah, because people are already going to have their mind made up. It doesn't matter what behavior you exhibit. And what if somebody's nervous? People
That's
are
what
going to
I was
decide
always
what's going to
thinking.
happen.
Just
But they're
getting real flustered, just like, it was my car. I stole it. What? No, you didn't. You're saying I stole it.
Yeah, it's to me. No. But he probably got all excited.
no, Danny.
Oh no, Danny. He probably got all excited because he thought, oh, this is going to be a great person to pick for the defense. Poor guy. He was wrong.
I always felt so weird. Things like the Fifth Amendment and not testifying and everything, because that's like, you can't approach that without bias as a juror. What are you supposed to say?
Well-
This guy's got nothing to hide.
No, you have to. That's the law. It's illegal.
Yeah, I know, but it's about ability, I think.
Anyway, I was in Little Tokyo every day, so I kept eating different beef bowls from different restaurants to try to pick my favorite one. And I think I found my favorite one. It's got some egg in it. I can't find one that has beef and cheese and egg, like a sukiya from Japan, which is too bad.
You could bring
And-
your own cheese.
I could bring my own cheese. And then I ate Coco Ichiban one day.
Wait,
and then
no.
oh,
Where'd you get the beef bowl?
You like a beef bowls, Geese?
she's a beef
Yeah.
bowl girly.
I don't know why. I always assume you're vegan.
Okay.
I'm always talking to you about what you're eating, and you're always like, "Oh yeah, Aaron threw another bowl of bones into my bowl, and I just started eating them."
Bowl
And
of
I'm like,
bones for
"Oh,
the vegan.
You're vegan, right?"
Taylor, can I answer the question to the vegan? The first beef,
Yes, Your Honor.
first beef bowl I had was at Marugame Monzo, which was okay.
Mm.
But the real good beef bowl was, of course, was it Mitsuri? Was it at Mitsuri? I don't think it was at Mitsuri.
Oh,
I miss eating food.
God, that'd be so sick to eat food, huh?
have you not been eating food? Have you been on a liquid diet?
No.
Not really.
You're
Not
not doing one of
really.
the. Have you ever done one of those cleanses where people are like, "Oh, I have 2
No.
tablespoons of honey and a pinch of cayenne"?
I'm having continued stomach issues, so I'll talk about it when it's my turn to what I've been eating, playing, listening.
So I ate, and then I ate Coco Ichiban, but then the very next day it was time to hang out with Shelly because she was visiting for a concert, and we ate Coco Ichiban immediately the next day. And the Tone Zone, Taylor, tried to pull oh, that's okay, I don't want to try an omelet. And here's the thing. Look, girls, listen. I understand. Listen.
Oh, okay.
No, I paid for the boys' food because I'm not gonna just let me say I'm still trying to find the beef bowl cafe. But here's what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
When I care a lot about food. Food's very delicious, important.
Eh,
If I tell somebody, oh, we're gonna go to this place, it's super super delicious. I already have the menu item in mind. I want them to try. I understand you can't force people to eat anything, and that's not what I'm trying to do. I can preface with, oh, if you don't like it, I'll eat it. And then you can have whatever you want. But I'm not a person who can say, oh, this place is great. Order anything and you'll love it. I just know that this menu item is fantastic and I can guarantee you a wonderful time. So every single time this comes up, and it comes up fairly often, I'd say, if somebody's visiting or something, I would say, okay, you're going to try this. You'll love it, A, but if you don't, I'll eat it and you can eat something else. But it took a lot of convincing to get that boy to get the omelet instead of just the regular curry. He even said to me, you were completely right. It tastes so much better with the egg. So,
well, because it's amazing.
you know, tell me?
Thinking about it, I can't think of very many places where I would just overall recommend a restaurant and not have something in mind. Cafe Los Feliz is a great example. I've eaten one item there, and it's just fantastic.
Just real quick for Geese,
Yeah.
it was Kouraku was the really good beef bowl.
Thank you.
Have I already told the secret shopper story at the restaurant where I used to work?
I don't think so.
So I had because this is kind of building on what you were saying about letting people eat menu items. I was working one day, and I was not I was a bartender and waiter, and it's this hit place and everything. They always had me wait on food reviewers and stuff because I guess I wasn't super robotic about anything, and I wasn't trying real hard to push stuff. So this woman comes in. I didn't know it, but it was a secret shopper. Our
okay.
restaurant had started doing secret shoppers, which we had never done before. So this lady comes in. It's totally empty. And she sits down and she has all her like papers and everything. And I, didn't know that she was a secret shopper, obviously. She orders a salad and people really like the salad. But I said, "Oh, is this your first time here?" And she said, "Yes." And I said, "You're not ordering the salad." And she said, "What?" And I said, "You're not ordering the salad. You're ordering this." And it was something that was a very, very, very good item. And I always recommended it to people. And she said, okay. So she ends up eating it and she loved it. And she left this gigantic review for me afterwards. And my boss pulled me in, and he had been working in restaurants for a really long time. And he was like, "I've never seen anything like this before." So she had written this big review, and she said, "I've been doing secret shopping and food reviewing for 2 decades. And I've never had anybody deny me an item." And she gave me like this amazing review.
Bragging
Just-
Taylor.
Just like Tone Zone. Well, people, good advice is good advice.
Geese, why don't you let us know this week about pasta salad or eggs?
Pasta salad of the week.
So my parents went to the beach and I stayed at
Beach?
home. And so I'm going to make a giant batch of pasta salad and I'm going to last on that for a week and a half.
I'm going to last on that.
How do you make your pasta salad?
So I made a Greek-inspired pasta salad, which has capitelli, feta, red onions, green bell peppers, cucumbers, and cherry tomatoes. And it's very good, and I like it a lot. I made the dressing myself. I basically quadrupled the recipe.
Oh my God.
Made 2 giant, 2-gallon Tupperwares full of pasta salad.
Stomach issues.
Look,
Two gallons of pasta salad? Didn't it clear you up?
She drinks it through a boba straw.
It's just blended pasta salad.
First of all, I was barely eating any, literally a couple spoonfuls a day. And also unrelated, but another trick is you need to add banana peppers to the pasta salad. It really elevates it. Anyway, I made the pasta salad. I ate it on Thursday. I was fine. I ate it on Friday. I was fine.
Oh no.
And then on Saturday, I ate the pasta salad and I was like, oh no. I got instantly nauseous, lightheaded,
Oh God.
clammy.
Well.
So anyway, long story short, I'm gonna go to a not a gynecologist.
Jeez Louise.
I'm gonna go to a gastroenterologist tomorrow.
And they're gonna pump out the pasta salad.
Yeah, and I also haven't pooped in 2 days, so.
Oh no.
Nice.
You could try making the pasta salad with some lentil or chickpea pasta, and that's a bunch of fiber.
Yeah, I'm gonna eat some hummus today.
You drinking enough water?
I'm drinking so much water.
Well, that's good.
I'm dying.
It's okay. You'll survive.
Yeah.
Taylor, you have a lot written down. Let's hear it. Hear the highlights here.
Well, the only thing I watched was the last 15 minutes of a Korean drama. So it was episode 16.
Yeah?
And Guncan says, "Would you like to watch this show with me?" I say yes. I assumed that it was not the last 15 minutes of the show.
Oh, but girls, the first scene I ever watched of Sopranos, well, I can't spoil it here. I wish you knew episode title names.
Well, what's the title name? And I'll see if I know it.
The title name's an interesting one, actually. I actually love this title for this episode.
Can't wait to hear it.
Yeah, it's gonna. That's why I'm googling it right now as we speak.
Oh, okay.
I'm typing as fast as I possibly can.
Sick.
As a matter of fact, I'm typing right now.
Uh-huh.
I think it's called Kennedy and Heidi is the episode. Yep. I didn't even need to Google it because I remembered it. There's 2 girls in a car named Kennedy and Heidi in that episode. Yeah, you would immediately go, oh. All right.
Oh, right. I was trying to remember Kennedy and Heidi. So I start watching this show, and it's just a boardroom scene or a press release scene of this very this dude looked like a doll because his skin was just, sometimes in Korea dramas, people just don't look human. It looks like a mannequin or something, where it's like, oh, so you don't have pores. All of the lines on your face are as if they were drawn. That's too perfect.
He got that doll in him.
Mm-hmm. He does. That doll.
Yeah.
And he's just having this big announcement about how he's expanding his business. And he's saying, I'm turning this old hotel franchise into a global chain. And everybody at this press release is taking pictures and everything. And they're like, oh, what? Oh, I can't believe you're doing this. How are you doing this? What are your intentions with the business? And he said, I'm making everybody smile because of this girl. And I say, okay. He proceeds to just not work again. In the middle of taking over this company and expanding across the globe, opening 22 new locations, competing with people in Europe. And he's just like, I'm going to pick up toilet paper for my girlfriend's little Airbnb hotel. And that's just the end of the show. And I don't understand the conclusion of it.
God, I hate Airbnbs. Clambos, don't listen to anybody who tells you, oh, Airbnb. No, they're terrible. You're going to have a million extra fees. You can't adjust the thermostat. They need you to do the dishes and rewash sheets, and they're going to find something to charge you about, where hotels are just a beautiful bastion of, it's just perfect.
I have had some very bad Airbnb experiences.
Apparently it's way worse than it used to be, but
this Guncan's brother was staying at a place in Montreal, and
I'm sorry, Taylor. What that was
Montreal?
Oh, sorry. Guncan's brother. Sorry, I need to clear my throat. Guncan's brother was staying in a place in and the ceiling. He's 6'3", so he stands up and he hits his head on a light bulb, but he has his hand above his head. So he cuts his hand, gets blood all over the place, and Guncan says, "Hey, can you write a message to this French lady who owns this Airbnb?" I say yes. So I'm typing up the message and everything, and I'm like, "Hey, we had to go get like a bunch of disinfectant. We had to get bandages. We had to do all this stuff because the ceiling is impossibly low. That wasn't listed anywhere. Would you be willing to reimburse us for the cost of the medical supplies?" And she says, "Hey, I contacted Airbnb and they said I don't owe you anything. Sorry this happened."
Nice.
And I said, "Okay, I'll just put it on the review that it's like a really low ceiling." And she goes instantly nuclear. Normally things don't super surprise me, and this was very surprising. She goes from, "Oh, I'm sorry, I reached out to Airbnb," to "Please don't do this. This is my only source of income," to "Who are you scammers? I'm contacting Airbnb saying you're trying to get all of my money and you're going to have your account closed." So she has like this stellar review history and everything, and she and I are both using Airbnbs all the time and everything. I reach out to Airbnb. She's like threatening us and stuff, and this
is the popcorn in the back of the Uber all over again.
Yeah, exactly. Very similar situation. She charges $1,250 for the light bulb, the uncovered light bulb on the low ceiling. And I've hit my head on plenty of ceilings, but I've never, broken anything. So that was ridiculous. We stayed at one in Florida with a bunch of her friends, and the water wasn't working for 2 days. And we were saying, hey, this didn't have any running water, so we had to go and we had to buy a bunch of water bottles and stuff like that.
There's too much risk. If you can't just call down to the front desk to ask for things or switch to another room, that's not... and you're still paying out the walls. No.
Well, the bad thing is, it's like being in a hotel, having something happen, and just speaking directly to the owner of the hotel, the only person who has skin in the game. You need a manager or a lower level employee who's totally disconnected from ownership, who's just like, oh, my only job is to make sure that people aren't mad. That's what you need. You need that kind of barrier between you and ownership. And you just don't have that with Airbnb.
I know there are people out there who say, oh, well, I just want to assimilate into the culture and not just be at a hotel. Well, you can, if you're asking me, I think it's possible to just, whether it's nearby or you take a little bus or some transportation, you can get into a more residential area. it's possible. I remember in Japan, I was at a hotel, but then I would walk through the super residential areas on the way to get my Domino's exclusive Koryu Korubi pizza. The best pizza
Ooh.
you can ever eat. You better eat it. It's so good. God, it's a good pizza. I can't believe I couldn't get you two to eat it. Jeez.
I think when people are talking about assimilation, they like there's something to be said for being in a suburb, but I mean that's not where all of the culture in a city is. And I think they're also forgetting that Airbnbs are normally marketed as mini hotels. They're not trying to say, ooh, here, we're going to prepare you a traditional breakfast and you're going to have traditional house rules and stuff like that. Unless you're staying at like a room in a house.
Yeah, the idea of putting Airbnbs on like a price line is crazy to me. But anyway, let's move on from Airbnbs. Taylor, what else do you need to discuss?
I finally got the FF16 plat. I sent you a picture of the super sick Ultima weapon that's entirely superfluous and optional for the game. So I'm eagerly awaiting DLC because I love that game so much. Started playing Sea of Stars. It's fine.
I love the Messenger. So, but I played the demo of Sea of Stars and I wasn't crazy about. I wasn't.
It's the writing. It's way too vocally self-aware.
Well, yeah, it's hit and miss is what that studio is, because Messenger, there's a lot of that, but there's also the funniest things you've ever heard in your life. So
that's what I've actually heard about the Messenger. Is
You've
that it's
never played the
very,
Messenger?
very funny. No, I haven't.
Girls, what
Yes.
are you doing? Stop
Playing
Sea
Sea
of
of Stars?
Stars. No, because I'm sure there's going to be little nods and hints. So you need to brush off and play Messenger, please. God.
Okay. I'll start that. I'm staying at my mom's for a few days, so I'll start that. Probably gonna get Liza P. I'm so hype. So sick. I love Sekiro so much, as Michael is well aware. He watched me be the last boss. And I just made a whole bunch of ramen eggs, so I had to eat about 8 ramen eggs.
Now
it's good up to number 3.
Now, Clambos, it's time for what you've all been waiting for. Poké News of the Week. The Mewtwo raids in Scarlet and Violet have concluded, so I hope you caught yours. Taylor watched me take one down with a Bug-type, Terra-type move.
It was so sick.
The next event we're having is a Slitherwing and Iron Moth from September 22nd through the 24th, which is good because those are both version exclusives. So if you have Scarlet, you can get the Violet one, and if you have Violet, you can get the Scarlet one by just joining online and joining a raid for the other one.
Ooh.
Also, we got big leaks about Pokemon in the next DLC Part 2. I, of course, will not reveal them here, but if you want to Google, you should be able to find information and theories and little fan drawings. And we're going to get some more Pokemon, believe it or not.
Very exciting.
Very exciting. All right, is everybody ready to move on to the episode of Pokemon?
Episode of the week.
This is episode 19 of Pokémon Horizons. Liko and Roy set off on their big, grand, great adventure. Geese, why don't you please tell us the name of the episode in English?
The Truth About Alcremie.
Or in Japanese, Mahoippu no Honto?
Now I have a quick question before we start. When you two see episode 19 of an anime, do you imagine us at the point where we are in this anime?
Well, we're all over the place. Girls, Galar isn't... Sure. Yeah, we're in a completely goofball region now.
Yeah. I guess it just feels like not a whole lot has happened.
No, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Come on now.
Does really make you appreciate the episodes where a bunch happens, though.
We arrive in Moto Stoke City in Galar. Finally. Oh my God, we're going to meet Grandma and solve this pendant mystery. Oh God, okay. Somebody on this staff understands me, because what do I love? I love coffee and I love adorable Pokemon. And they put them both in the same picture. Are you kidding me? Murdoch's pouring this coffee that looks so good. Rockruff's just a smiling. Clambos is so cute. Now, hold on. Everybody hold the phone. Question to you, question to listeners.
Yes, Your Honor.
You guys just feed children coffee? Is that normal?
Yeah, that sounds like... Aren't they a little young?
And
I think it's okay.
even the little sprig of Tito's licking up the coffee. I'm just thinking, I don't feed cats and children coffee, but
I don't
mean,
think animals can have caffeine.
I guess they put enough Alcremie cream in there. It sweetens it up, I guess.
I was watching this K-drama called The Glory, and there was a scene where there were a bunch of kids in this little corner store, and they were all getting a whole bunch of caffeine. And one of the characters said, "Why are these kids having so much caffeine?" And corner store owner said, "Because their parents make them study until 10 p.m. and they're completely exhausted, so they're all just drinking a bunch of coffee." And it was these adorable little Korean kids drinking a whole bunch of coffee.
Come to think of it, why did I never think about that? I mean, I drank so much soda as a kid. As a little boy, drinking Mountain Dew, staying up all night till Nick Jr. comes up. So I guess that's
The
not different than coffee.
The weird thing
Well,
was
it's much worse than coffee, but
whenever we would have that, it was always adults saying, "No, the sugar's gonna keep you up." And looking back on it retrospectively, I'm like, what about the 150 milligrams of caffeine you're giving to a 9-year-old?
yeah, that sugar does not. That's actually not true. Everyone, sugar does not keep you up. It does not give you an energy boost. Kids just like having fun, and they like sugar because it's tasty, and they're excited about the fact they're eating it. Alcremie's gonna sweeten up the coffee and crembo it up with her cream, and it's gonna be whipped coffee now. It's
Geese's
interesting.
favorite, something coming out of a Pokemon and us eating it.
It looks delicious to me. I don't know what problem she has with it, but I actually mentioned
You're
this.
telling me. Okay.
Okay. You've never drank a glass of milk?
You make cream out of milk, so they don't use like moo moo milk to make
They do.
cream? Is that what you're telling me?
Just like how we have cow's milk, some people drink goat milk. We have Alcremie cream. We have moo moo milk. There's options.
I just keep thinking of Slurm.
No, well, look.
Yeah. Listen.
Even before I didn't know this was going to be a plot point, Clambo. So shouts out to me for being a little bit ahead of the curve, predicting. But I wrote down. Now I find it interesting that Alcremie is specifically a strawberry sweet topping ruby swirl. So when you play Pokemon Sword and Shield, when you evolve your Milcery into an Alcremie, you put whatever topping you want, and then you just spin in a circle. It was so funny because that's a mechanic they had in Sword and Shield, is you could just spin your control stick around and your character would just spin like that. And
That's
that's
super
how
fun.
you evolve a Milcery into an Alcremie, and it's so sick.
That's very clever. What are the other toppings? Like could they
There's so many. 48 combinations, something like that's not exact, but
Wow.
I have a full Alcremie deck. So I have every form of Alcremie, including the tough ones to get that you could only get these special, I think it's star topping and one other topping you could only get during these very specific raids that were online during a very specific time. So those are very rare Alcremies.
Like a Vivian.
Yeah, like a Vivian. Now, I do also have a shiny Alcremie, but the thing with the shiny Alcremie, luckily for a shiny hunter, there's not actually 48 different shinies.
Thank God.
It's just all one kind of so if you wanted to do a full living shiny Alcremie dex, you probably only need like 7 shinies instead of 40 something. Anyway,
Quick aside, I started playing Pokemon Go. I found out I had some Nintendo bucks, so I got Pokemon Home Deluxe Edition. I have yet to find a single shiny. Haven't seen one either.
in Go,
Aren't they rare?
None so far.
have you been using the Pokemon ball I loaned you?
Mhm.
Lent you?
Yes.
Honestly, since you have that ball, I would go ahead and just buy Let's Go Eevee because it's that game is compatible with that controller, and it's just worth it for that, honestly, because it's fun to play with that controller. Like you get to get your nostalgia of red and blue, and you get to have fun with that controller because you just control it with one hand, and every time you catch a poke, you strap it on and you go. Whoof.
I just feel like I would burn out so hard, and I'm just trying to finish Violet right now.
Nah, you can be fine. All right, all the kids are sipping the coffee. Oh my god, Alcremie is so adorable.
I'm a sucker for a tiny poke.
Me too.
Uncle Fritos walks up to the children drinking their coffee, and they say they're going to land after they have their coffee, and they start to freak out. And I'm very confused during the intro song, but then they explain after the intro song, oh, they freaked out because we're not just flying straight to grandma's. We're going to land by Motostoke because we don't want to be tracked by the explorers. Initial plan is we're going to take the train. So they're going to take the train all the way to Hammerlock, but oh, wait, Clambos, the train's out of service. What are we going to do? Geese, we see Oreos run up, very excited. What is she so excited about?
Since they have a day to do whatever, she's going to go into the city and get some ship parts.
Yeah, she rushes off on her Metagross. She's losing it. Free day for the kids, too. But this free day has immediately turned into, how about we go shopping with our boy Murdoch for some food, like we always do.
I love that. I think that's so sick that he goes and gets region-specific ingredients.
It's delicious and wonderful, and I adore it as well.
Also, for anybody who's a diver, Dot holding her or hanging her costume over the railing and just kind of hanging off the railing or leaning on the railing looks exactly like every single diver after a dive.
Oh. Now, this episode, there's a lot of kind of scenes where they're just sitting there, maybe Dot's having an inner monologue, saying a bunch of stuff. So feel free to jump in if you feel like
Liko?
What did I say?
Dot.
It's Dot? Taylor's fault. He just said Dot.
Well,
way to go, Taylor.
You're welcome.
But what I'm getting at is if it feels like I'm missing something, please jump in and say something. But yeah, this is another one of those episodes where it's not a ton happens, but we do get a lot of Liko sitting there thinking about what's happened and thinking about people's motivations and thinking about things in her little monologue.
Yeah. And everybody's favorite, flashbacks.
Oh, I love the flashbacks, actually. I liked it in this one, too. Anyway, we're going to ask all the people of Motostoke if they've seen Shiny Rayquaza. And also, very excitingly, we're going to go check out the Battle Cafe.
Oh, sick.
Also, Dot calls in. She needs a Swirlix cotton candy from here as a video prop. And they have it, apparently, allegedly.
Ooh, using those legal words.
Well, okay. I'm sorry to just people who care about Pokemon, but I was laughing so hard because back in the deliberation room during jury duty, I did find it so funny. We were all laughing that the defense didn't even try to deny anything his client did. The most he did was one off, just talking about all these prior charges and all these prior drag races and stuff. He just said real quick, these alleged, and we were just laughing.
Did you laugh right after he said it?
I laughed in the courtroom after one thing he said, but I had to stifle it because like it was one of the police officers on the stand, or actually I think it was Swank. What was his title? It was he has the sickest haircut known to man. I think he's like a former street racer or something, and he just says like,
so sick.
The street racing task force. But he just said something that was like really bad for the case for the defendant, and his attorney just went, "Okay, great." And I was laughing. He said, "Great." Oh man. Oh God. When they showed the picture of his red key, oh, you should have seen his little face. Oh my God.
Did he get all excited?
No, that's terrible. Red key is bad for the defense. When the defense attorney saw this big printed out picture of the guy holding the red key, which unlocks the capabilities of the vehicle.
I wonder if there were any like little micro expressions he was making.
Oh, I was staring for micro expressions. Let's move on. Okay, we're in the middle of Pokemon. In the middle of Pokemon. Oh my God, Geese. We see what's going on with Rockruff, and he's getting his special brushing time with Molly.
Ooh.
I want my special brushing time with Molly.
More of an Oreos fan myself.
No, he's adorable. It's great.
Yeah, he's cute.
He's getting his hair brushed while they're out shopping. They ride the famous Motostoke elevator, Clambos. Ooh, so scary. I actually felt so bad for poor little Sprigatito because she got real spooked when they're on the elevator. I took a screenshot of it.
To be fair, that I've never seen an elevator like that before. And it's so sick, and I don't know why I haven't seen one.
It was used in the promotional materials for Sword and Shield a lot. Geese is familiar.
So sick.
Yeah. I looked at the hours I spent on that game, and it was over 300, and I feel like I don't remember much of it.
Maybe you had the game running or something.
A Destiny situation.
Fuecoco's having fun with Galarian wheezing, and there's a cute Squovit in the grocery store. But Clambos, Geese, nobody's seen Rayquaza. I guess we'll have to ask the gym leader of the town, Kabu, who's from Hoenn, which I forgot about actually, but that is lore in the game. When you get his little, in Sword and Shield, you get little trainer cards from people, and it does mention that he moved here from Hoenn. Oh my God, we make it to the cafe, and Taylor, how excited for you? How excited were you when Murdoch read that it was a curry buffet at the cafe?
That entire cafe is nothing but hype. Everything's so exciting. Ruby cakes, matcha cakes, battles, curry, coffee.
Oh,
I love
God.
matcha cakes.
Me too.
Geese would have been like Mitchell. Oh, by the way, we're calling him Mitchell. This boy doesn't yet have a name in English because we don't know. I don't even know if they've recorded this episode yet. Probably not in English. So if you're listening to this later and his name is something different, I apologize.
I apologize too.
Because he's not, this isn't a character from the games. I will say at first, I really hated Mitchell's design because his design looked to me, it clashes. It just looks way too cartoony and it doesn't fit in this anime. And then as the episode went on, I started to think, wait a minute, are they doing something with, they're trying to design this character as if he is from a European cartoon? And if they're doing
100%.
that, that's kind of sick.
It's interesting that you said that he looks too cartoony because the first thing I thought when I saw his design was, oh, he looks like the toon versions of cards that Pegasus uses at the end of the first season of Yu-Gi-Oh! When he uses Toonville and all of the Digimon all the Yu-Gi-Oh! Monsters turn into cartoon versions of themselves.
Digimon are the champions. Yeah, he looks like a European cartoon, like a French or a British cartoon, which I guess that works. But
He kind of looked like he had similar like eyes to the hikers from the Alola region.
Yeah, that's true. I don't think those hikers are. Well, Alola's supposed to be the United States. It's still Hawaii, but there's like native Alolans. Yeah, you're right, Geese.
Good job, Geese.
Well, they're trying to make them look more European, or American, or
something.
Right.
German hikers are like backpackers in Hawaii.
And right. Swiss. They love hiking. The Alps?
They do.
Yep, that's their favorite thing.
Anyway, Murdoch's looking at the menu. I really just wanted him to say out loud, I can't read English because they are in England. Anyway, we see a battle between Cufant, the little elephant guy, and Vanillite. Ironhead, Cufant. Clambos, turns out you can't just order this special little cotton candy on the menu. You have to win a battle to get it.
Oh my gosh, when Kufant wins and he's holding the cotton candy with his trunk, it's so cute.
He's a cutie pie. He's actually so he's in the Galar Dex, but he's actually from another region. So he's from India. So the Pokemon version of India. So it's going to be very exciting one day when we get a little India region. We get to see him all over.
That'd be so sick.
Geese, Murdoch, what is he doing with his menu when he sees Mitchell?
He's hiding behind it.
Oh my God. So it turns out you only get one attempt per day to battle Mitchell to win a cotton candy.
So I see promotions like this in Pokemon, and I'm always wondering about how the world works. How many times a day is he fighting people? And later he kind of reveals, oh, I don't really try at those because I want people to have the cotton candy, which is fun.
No. Specifically for the morning clients. For the morning people, yeah, he's just giving them away. But he'll try.
He's super busy.
Yeah, he probably has breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
But is he also making all the food too? Like, does he have people helping out when he's battling?
There's lots of employees. I'm sure he's head chef and he runs the place.
Wow, he's doing really, really well. What's the word for it's a pastry chef?
Yeah, pâtissier. Pâtissier. So Alcremie sees Mitchell and Geese. Alcremie, she tries to give Mitchell a little bit of her cream, and it becomes so dramatic. There's clearly bad blood between Murdoch and Mitchell.
It takes a certain type of person to be mean to a Pokemon as cute as Alcremie.
Yeah.
Turns out, Clambos, that Mitchell and Murdoch used to be friends together, making cakes. And we go to a flashback.
Mm.
And it's so cute because it's before Alcremie even evolved and she's just a baby Milcery floating around. Geese?
How do Pokemon float?
She's just so light.
Magic.
Okay.
It's so cute. I was trying when I played
Nice
Sword and
job, Geese.
Shield.
That's enough. All right, go on.
Yep. When I was playing Sword and Shield, I was trying to get all the different variants of Alcremie. And I was only successful, I think, getting I could only get the topping ones, but I couldn't get like the swirl ones for some reason.
Everyone has toppings.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying.
So you get a different type of Alcremie depending on if you're spinning clockwise, counterclockwise, and the time of day.
Oh.
Well, I guess I didn't try that hard, but regardless, I really wanted the one that this Alcremie was, the ruby swirl one.
It's a good one.
But I was unsuccessful.
What's the base flavor for
probably the
Ruby
vanilla,
swirl?
Right?
Yeah.
Vanilla and what kind of makes it red?
Ruby chocolate is a thing in Japan. Ruby chocolate is like a rich dark chocolate. The ruby Kit Kats are very, very good. I recommend you try ruby chocolate.
Is it like a red velvet kind of chocolate?
Sure.
Where they have like a little earthiness from the beet flavor?
Yeah. So in this flashback, little baby Milcery is working at the sweet shop with the boys. And at this point, Clambos, Mitchell and Murdoch are just friendly rivals, making ruby cakes and matcha cakes. But then one day, little Milcery, she's having fun in the kitchen, Clambos, and Geese, what happens? But she grabs some strawberries, and then what happens, Geese?
She evolves.
But how does she evolve, Geese?
She spins.
I thought that was cute.
Because just like the video game, she's just having so much fun in the kitchen, she accidentally evolves. She's just spinning, having fun, holding strawberries.
Very sick little scene. Nice job, Niantic.
Just like the game. But oh no, she evolves into a ruby swirl, which is perfect for Murdoch's cakes, but not for Mitchell's. Mitchell, you see, always makes the matcha cakes. And as we learn later in the episode, actually, I won't spoil it. I'll tell you later.
It is very funny. And I understand that Murdoch, it's very funny that I know Murdoch says, oh, I was so excited about it that I didn't even pay attention to anything else. Can you imagine being that oblivious to another person that you have a working friendly rivalry with, who something goes overbearingly in your favor and against the other person, and you're just like, man, I'm happy?
Well, we're about to find out what caused this rift. Poor Mitchell's not selling as many cakes as Murdoch now, and it's after hours. The ruby cakes have sold wonderfully all day, but the matcha cakes not so much. But Geese, now we get to the moment of the episode. Can you believe what happens next? When Alcremie tries to give Mitchell a little treat with her ruby swirl cream on it, what happens, Geese?
Mitchell slaps her away.
With a very well-spaced forward tilt.
He's a monster, Clambos. This poor baby Alcremie. Everybody's crying, Clambos. They can't believe that Mitchell slapped this poor angel. Just the treats on the floor broken. Murdoch absolutely is not going to put up with this behavior. And he says, anybody that would treat sweets like that doesn't care about sweets at all. Or something. Does anybody have the actual quote written down? I thought I wrote it down.
No, it was basically that.
I was just laughing because you have these two business owners yelling at each other, saying the word sweet.
Yeah.
That was real funny.
And that is the story about how Mitchell and Murdoch fell apart. What's the word I'm
Yeah.
looking for? That's how they fell out. That's how their relationship fell apart.
Fell out of favor.
Yeah.
The rift began.
So we cut back to present day. Turns out, Clambos, Mitchell was eavesdropping on this story the whole time. Liko and Mitchell kind of lock eyes for a second, and Mitchell runs away. Very cartoony again. Liko says, all right, well, I'm going to battle that. Mitchell and Murdoch, you're going to battle with me. We're going to do a double battle, and he's going to battle for sure. Mitchell, so they're very polite about it. They're like, please battle me. I'm so sorry. It's okay. But Mitchell agrees to it, but he says, be careful, because like Taylor mentioned, he was just letting those other guys win this morning. He's actually very strong. Then Clambos, we get a scene where there's some very dramatic growling between Murdoch and Mitchell. They both go with a dramatic look at each other. We cut immediately to the battle. Mitchell has an Appleton and a Slurpuff, and that is going to battle Sprigatito and Alcremie.
I know that the apple guy evolves into apple dinosaur. What's the other one? An apple bat?
Now there's several of them. There's Appleton, which is the little apple pie, which is who you see. There's also Flapple, which is a flying apple guy. And now we have Diplin in the new DLC, who's like a candy apple.
I was kind of expecting Mitchell to have his own cremini that was matcha flavored. I was very surprised because that was years ago, right?
That seems like a good solution. Like they could have easily solved this problem by getting another Alcremie. I don't know why they didn't think about that or.
Well, it was a big emotional fight because I mean they would have done that, but Mitchell slapped the treat out of Alcremie's hands. Murdoch's not going to put up with that.
Whose side are you on? If you had to choose between Mitchell and Murdoch.
Murdoch, you don't slap a treat out of a door.
Yeah.
So I agree with that, but initially I can understand why Mitchell's so upset.
He's sad. He can be sad, but
yeah.
Geez Louise, as we're going to learn later, for nothing. Okay, back to the battle. Cotton Spore, Apple Acid, Melt, which I'm not familiar with the move Melt. I don't know if that's just in the anime or I'm doing a bad job Googling, but...
Apple Acid is one of the scariest names for a move I've heard in Pokemon.
Sounds delicious.
It sounds terrifying.
And then Alcremie absorbs all the attacks, and it's so sick. Alcremie used Decorate, which she, of course, learns when she evolves. And that gives Sprigatito a big cream hat, and it sharply raises her attack and special attack. Sprigatito, use Scratch. Oh my god. Mitchell is going to cook his Pokemon's moves? And Murdoch too? Geese?
That did confuse me because it seemed like Liko, that's what she expected would happen, but like how would she know that would happen?
Character development, Geese. Easy. She's got intuition up the wazoo now.
Anyway, the battle is now over. They're just cooking at this point. Sprigatito, very excited at the developments, though.
That's what I was waiting for. Was Sprigatito just popping up in the center of the screen being so freaking cute.
And they made a bunch of cakes. We got big battle music still going on amusingly during this. And then they say, Sprigatito, use leafage. I want a bunch of leaves all over my food. And she does, and they all love it. Okay, perfect. They completely forgot about the battle Clambos, but the treats are great, so everybody's happy. Everybody's eating them, and...
What kind of leaves? Because I know Sprigatito's leaves are probably very sweet because she uses the move Sweet Scent. So what's the flavor there? Or is it just sugary grass?
Who's to say? Who's to say?
Is it mint?
Mm-hmm.
They're certainly eating them.
Oh, maybe mint.
Mitchell and Murdoch are both completely exhausted from battling and cooking. And Alcremie, Geese, she's so happy that they're making food together again. Oh my goodness.
Imagine being that geared towards baking, that you're in the middle of a battle and you just accidentally bake dozens of amazing dishes.
It happens every day. Geese, then what does Mitchell ask for Alcremie to do?
Decorate his matcha cake.
The secret menu item. And he admits it was never Alcremie's fault. it was his own lack of skill back then that made him so jealous. He just could not make a matcha cake good enough to go delicious with the ruby swirl cream.
Imagine being mad at an Alcremie.
But now everybody's so sorry. Everybody's bawling, crying, offering food.
When I saw Mitchell's hat with the brim, I was just imagining every scene where Ash cries, where the hat's real low and you can't see his eyes and he's all serious and quiet and you just see the tear going.
Yeah. There's a big giant hug. And then Geese, what does Murdoch say about Mitchell's cake? He says, this tastes like it was made from someone that
is made of cream.
This was clearly made from someone that loves sweets.
That's what I said.
Oh my God. And then Geese Alcremie's so cute because she's like petting both their little faces, just tapping her little Alcremie hand.
Cute, but yucky and sticky.
No, she's fine. But Taylor.
Yes.
You're not going to know.
Yes, I am. I challenge the honor of the court.
But it turns out this whole time, Clambo, somebody was sitting at the table drinking a tea or a coffee, presumably listening to everything.
Kubo.
It was Kabu.
Kuro.
Kabu, that's
right.
Kabu, that's right, the gym leader. Oh my God! And next week we'll go and fight the gym leader or do something. Okay, Clambos.
Is that the gym leader for Sword or Shield?
He's in both.
Okay.
That's the entirety of the episode. There's some cute moments. It's fine. Certainly not big enough to not have a Pokemon seminar. So, Geese, let's hear it. What do we have this week from Uncle Frito's?
Today's Pokemon is Alcremie. And Alcremie can create a certain thing that you need when making a cake. But what is it? Is it A, sugar, B, sponge, or C, cream?
I bet it's cream.
Yeah, that's a toughie.
Yeah, it's C, cream. Alcremie creates cream, and its taste relates to its emotions. So it's the tastiest and richest when they're happy.
Which is pretty sick.
We get a cute picture of Alcremie at the table on the Great Salami, and she's feeding cake to Fuecoco and Sprigatito and Quaxley and Captain Pikachu. Very adorable.
I thought this was an okay episode. I mean, in terms of fluff episodes, this was like an easier one to watch, personally. And it made it easier to watch because it had such cute Pokemon.
It was a very strange episode. And we've had a couple of these. I can't remember the last one where I took like four lines of notes total. Just the whole time is like, okay, yep, cute stuff. Okay.
Yeah, not a lot of notes on this.
The interesting thing about this episode is from start to finish, I don't feel like anything changed. Like they're in no different a place than they were at the very beginning of the episode.
No,
you just saw a bunch of bakery.
So one thing I thought maybe you guys would jump in with this. I didn't write it down, but one thing we do kind of get out of Liko's little inner monologue soliloquies here is that we are getting more sides of Murdoch. There's an entire theme of this episode, which is, oh, we always think of Murdoch as this big, strong man, but he's just like us. He's got emotions. He gets sad sometimes. He'll cry sometimes, even though he's a grown-up. So that's like the theme of this episode.
Adults are people too, yeah.
Which you can say that adds character to Murdoch, and it was worth it just to see Alcremie being that cute. And to see her being a little baby milkery. I thought for sure Geese would adore this episode, actually, because of how cute she found Alcremie and the potato last week.
No, I liked it. It was,
definitely filler.
Yeah, filler. But it was cute. I liked the cuteness of it.
Yeah, it's fluffy, sweet filler, much like Alcremie.
I was really hoping for like a filler episode where they go get tea or something.
That'd be sick if they had some mantra or something that kind of like informed the world a little bit more. Would have been interesting. But it peaked at the beginning. You have coffee, you have cute Pokemon, and you have that sick elevator. I'm done. It was all there was no way to top that for the rest of the episode.
Well, luckily there is a new tea Pokemon out in the DLC, Poltergeist. Poltergeist is British tea. Polchageist is matcha tea. Poltcha.
From Mancha. Or it sounds like from Chrono Cross. The Korcha and his mother, I think, whose name is Matcha.
Does it look different?
Looks completely different. It's green. And the evolution looks completely different. It's like a bowl with a whisk kind of thing.
What's going to be weird is if they introduce a Polchai for a different
I think
region.
cha already is so close to chai, I don't think. I mean, cha means chai, means tea. It's all the same thing.
Yeah.
Geese, did you find pictures of Poltergeist?
I did. It's interesting.
It's in the land of Kitakami, which is the DLC of Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Available now. Play it and have fun. Enjoy yourself.
Does it?
Enjoy yourself.
It takes place in a totally different region?
Mm-hmm. That's
sick.
new, huh? It's a new region too. It's in Japan. So Scarlet and Violet is Spain and Portugal. So they take a class trip to Kitakami, which is by Johto, which is like Kyoto, real world. And then the next DLC part 2 takes place, I believe, on like a floating island kind of thing in Unova called the Indigo Disc. And it's very like they have their own. I know I mentioned this before, but I'll mention it again. All I want, because they have these different biomes, these man-made biomes, but there's an area with a lowland Pokemon in it. And I just want an area where I can evolve into an Alolan Pokemon because I have all these shiny Pikachu and I just want a shiny Alolan Raichu.
Man-made biomes?
Yeah, they make like a zoo or something. They make an area and they bring a bunch of Pokemon in.
I didn't know that was a thing.
Geese, take it away with the wrap-up.
Thank you, everyone, for listening. You can find us at Look, Listen, Cast on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Thank you to Keith for our artwork. You can follow him on twitch.tv/KeithSquared.
Shouts out to Professor Ticklebits for the website and the Taylor.
Boilerplate.
You can follow him on twitch.tv/prof_Ticklebits. Thank you for the website. And thank you to our supporters. You can support us by going to looklistencast.com, clicking the link for Spotify for podcasters, or anchor.fm, or when you listen on the podcast app, there's a link right there. Please recommend this podcast to your friends and families. The best part is there's no swearing, so you can recommend it to anybody, no matter
even
how
your grandmothers.
no matter how grandma's.
Yep. No swearing at all.
Who wants to read this week's question from Rock Party? Every episode of Look, Listen, Cast with Geese Guyera and Taylor ends with a question. And you can submit a question by going to looklistencast@gmail.com and pressing send email after typing something up.
Rock Party, which is a great name, asks, I picked up some booster packs. They came with a foil card. I should leave them unopened? Can that be my Look, Listen question? Dear Geese Guyera and Taylor, I'm thinking of collecting Pokemon the card game stuff. How should I go about starting, and any advice for collecting? Okay, thanks, bye.
So I've seen your picture, Rock Party. You can open that. You're fine with opening that. I don't even know what pack is inside there. Step 1, just get a ton of money. Pokemon cards are so much more expensive than they used to be. I used to buy boxes for $80, and that came with 36 packs. Oh, it was so much fun opening them. Now you've got all these tiny special sets. They only sell elite trainer boxes and special blister packs and little promo things that are way more expensive than $80 for 36 packs. So you're spending more like $4 instead of $2 a pack. It's terrible. So step 1 is you get a bunch of money. If you're just trying to collect, it's actually cheaper not opening packs. I think you want to buy like individually, but it's just so much fun opening the packs. I'd say if you're really interested in a set, you buy one at least of each product they're selling, whether that's the Elite Trainer box or this little promo, that little promo. Or if it's a full set, a box or two, you need 2 boxes, and then you'll really start to build up a nice collection of, you'll get most of the commons, uncommons, you'll get a few rares, a few holos, and then from there, I mean, that'd be sick if you live by a Pokemon League or something you can go to and you can trade with people. And just when you're out, maybe at a store, you see a pack and you buy maybe a couple. That's how I did it when I was super into the game in early 2010s, I should say. 2010, 11.
So that's the correct answer, the more expert answer. I would say it depends on why you're getting into it. Looking at it as a collector's item and an investment, I would say there are maybe better products to go after. I think Pokemon, so much fun is had opening booster packs. The art is fun. Like the card designs are very fun. Some of the best memories I have are just opening packs and wondering what I'm going to get. So you're kind of paying for an experience with that. And then, yeah, like he was saying, you can just fill out your collection if you were going to go for that and display in them.
I liked Yu-Gi-Oh cards because there was this card.
Ooh, gonna get that one in post. Ooh.
There's this card with a pretty lady on it that I liked a lot.
Dark Magician Girl. All
Yeah.
Yu-Gi-Oh players are liars and thieves. I'm sorry.
I did steal my neighbor's cards. So
yeah, I'm sure you did.
Oh, wow.
Yu-Gi-Oh kid. I can't believe I'm doing this with a Yu-Gi-Oh kid. Oh, God.
Jeez.
If you're now the new set that I was posting about earlier, Scarlet Violet 151, those sets do hold value a lot because there's so many people with nostalgia just for the first games. So if you have base set, or like I have an unopened box of Evolutions, which was a set that reprinted a lot of base set, and then this 151 set that's coming out now. If you want to keep some of that product sealed, it probably will increase in value. Like that box, I bought it for, I don't know, under $100 when it came out, and now it's worth much more than that. So you could buy some unopened stuff if you want a little investment. I also opened a box though, so it's sick. I got a sick Charizard out of that. Big old Mega Charizard.
How do you store your cards?
In
freezer
binders.
I remember when in elementary school, the kids would bring in their binders of Pokemon cards.
And all you do is think about how to steal them.
Yeah. Yes, but also like, I wonder if they still have them today and they could make like such a killing. Like George, I know you make good money now, but I bet you get a really great deal with all the Pokemon cards you used to have.
I know you have a 6-figure salary, but are you making Pokemon money?
I know because my mother tried to set me up with him several times.
When?
His mother also colluded, kept trying to get us to, oh my gosh. So like he volunteered at church. So whenever I had to go to church, my mom was like, go talk to George. And I was like, no.
What was the rationale? Is he like a really nice guy? Really like
no, he's nice. He's
super
nice. He is super successful.
Well, Clambos, thank you for listening to that. Thank you so much, Taylor and Geese. This has been episode 62 of the Liko, Geese Guyera Horizons, episode 19. Next week is Horizons episode 20, episode 63. Bob, you love numbers, don't you?
I love numbers.
Okay, everybody say goodbye.
Goodbye.
See you next week.
Goodbye.
Maybe next week will be fun. Who knows?
My tummy will be fixed.
She's gonna get a new colon, gonna get a new intestine. Wait, how much are you publicly talking about your stuff?
I don't care. All of it.
All of it.
I don't care.
Gonna get a new gallbladder. She's gonna be good to go. All right, goodbye.
Bye.
Geese is gonna need some more time.
Goodbye. Goodbye.
Howdy, y'all. It's me, Geese Pete. Thank you for listening to the Geese Pete Productions podcast.
Geese Peep Enterprises, doing business as Peep Industries, together with its subsidiaries, is a diversified worldwide entertainment company with operations in media networks, talent management, parks and resorts, multimedia entertainment, and consumer products and interactive media. Geese Peep Enterprises is a Dow 30 company